कालिमा नमो कालिमा नमो मधुशुम्भमहिषमर्दिनी महाशक्तये नमो मधुशुम्भमहिषमर्दिनी महाशक्तये नमो कालिमा नमो ब्रह्मा विष्णु शिव स्वरूप त्वं न अन्यथा ब्रह्मा विष्णु शिव स्वरूप त्वं न अन्यथा चराचरस्य पालिका नमो नमः सदा 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 चराचरस्य पालिका नमो वन्दे शङ्कर गुरुदेवा
वन्दे शङ्कर गुरुदेवा
नित्यनिरञ्जन सत्यस्वरूपा
नित्यनिरञ्जन सत्यस्वरूपा
प्रत्यगात्मने आनन्दरूपा
प्रत्यगात्मने आनन्दरूपा
नित्यनिरञ्जन सत्यस्वरूपा
नित्यनिरञ्जन सत्यस्वरूपा
प्रत्यगात्मने आनन्दरूपा
प्रत्यगात्मने आनन्दरूपा
नीडै घनज्ञानाबोधा नीडै घनज्ञानाबोधा ಬೇಡುವೆ ನಿನ್ನೋಳು ಶಂಕರ ವಂದೇ ಶಂಕರ ಗುರುದೇವಾ
वन्दे शङ्कर गुरुदेवा
ವಂದೇ ಶಂಕರ ಗುರುದೇವಾ
वन्दे शङ्कर गुरुदेवा
ಆತ್ಮಸ್ವರೂಪವ ಬೋಧಿಸಿಯನ್ನ
ಆತ್ಮಸ್ವರೂಪ ಬೋಧಿಸಿಯನ್ನ
ಮುಕ್ತ ಮಾಡು ನೀ ಶ್ರೀ ಗುರುದೇವಾ
ಮುಕ್ತ ಮಾಡು ನೀ ಶ್ರೀ ಗುರುದೇವಾ
ಆತ್ಮಸ್ವರೂಪವ ಬೋಧಿಸಿಯನ್ನ
ಆತ್ಮಸ್ವರೂಪವ ಬೋಧಿಸಿಯನ್ನ
ಮುಕ್ತ ಮಾಡು ನೀ ಶ್ರೀ ಗುರುದೇವಾ
ಮುಕ್ತ ಮಾಡು ನೀ ಶ್ರೀ ಗುರುದೇವಾ
ನಾರಾಯಣ ಪಥದ ಬೋಧ
ನಾರಾಯಣ ಪದದ ಬೋಧ
ನಾರಾಯಣ ಪಥದ ಬೋಧ
ನಾರಾಯಣ ಪದದ ಬೋಧ
ಬೇಡುವೆ ನಿನ್ನೋಳು ಶಂಕರ
ಬೇಡುವೆ ನಿನ್ನೋಳು ಶಂಕರ
ವಂದೇ ಶಂಕರ ಗುರುದೇವಾ
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 ಸದಾಶಿವಸಮಾರಂಭಾಂ ಶಂಕರಾಚಾರ್ಯಮಧ್ಯಮಾಂ ಅಸ್ಮದಾಚಾರ್ಯಪರ್ಯಂತಾಂ ವಂದೇ ಗುರುಪರಂಪರಾಂ ಶ್ರುತಿಸ್ಮೃತಿಪುರಾಣಾನಾಂ ಆಲಯಂ ಕರುಣಾಲಯಂ ನಮಾಮಿ ಭಗವತ್ಪಾದಂ Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram. Let us chant the first two verses together. Ananta samsara samudratara naupayikabhyam guru bhaktinabhyam vairāgya samrājyada pujanabhyam namo namah Shri Gurupādukābhyam namo namah Shri Gurupādukābhyam kavittvavārashi nishākarābhyam daurvāgyadā budhamalikabyam durīkritānam ravipattatevyam namo namah Shri Gurupādukābhyam namo namah Shri Gurupādukābhyam. Prostrations unto the holy Gurupādukās, which can bless us with liberation, which can give us devotion unto the lotus feet of Guru, which can give us the kingdom of dispassion and thus liberation. Prostrations unto these Pādukās, which is like the moon for the ocean of the creativities in us, which is like the rain-bearing clouds for the forest fire of misfortunes. Prostration unto these Pādukās, which put an end to all calamities in life. So now we see the third one. Natayayo Shri Patitam Samiyo
Natayayo Shri Patitam Samiyo
Kadāchidapyāshu daridravāryaः
Kadāchidapyāshu daridravāryaः
Mūkāsca vācaspatitāṃ hitābhyāṃ
Mūkāsca vācaspatitāṃ hitābhyāṃ
Namo namah Shri Gurupādukābhyāṃ
Namo namah Shri Gurupādukābhyāṃ
Namo namah Shri Gurupādukābhyāṃ
Namo namah Shri Gurupādukābhyāṃ
Natayayo Shri Patitam Samiyo Kadāchidapyāshu daridravāryaः Mūkāsca vācaspatitāṃ hitābhyāṃ Namo namah Shri Gurupādukābhyāṃ Namo namah Shri Gurupādukābhyāṃ. Yes. So these Gurupādukās, they are capable of blessing the devotees with wealth. So what is being said here? Daridravāryaः, a person who is poorest of the poor, not daridra, daridravāryaः. Daridra Shrestha means what? The rank number one in poverty. Daridravāryaः. Kadāchit, even once, such a fellow, poorest of the poor, such a fellow, yayoho nataha, if he prostrates, yayoho, to these Pādukās, then what will happen? Ashu, immediately, quickly, what will happen to him? Shri Patitam Samiyuhu. Samiyuhu, he will attain what? Shri Patitam, that state of Shripati. That state of Shripati. Shripati means what? Lord of Sri. Pati means Lord. Shripati, Lord of Sri. Sri means wealth, Lord of wealth. So, even if that poorest of the poor, even once, if he prostrates with all devotion, humility, etc., unto these Pādukās, what will happen? Quickly, he will get rid of all poverty. He will attain to that state of, what do you call that? State of being wealthy. He will become a very rich person. That is the glory of these Pādukās. Mūkāscha vachaspatitam hitabhyam. A person who is mūka. Mūka means what? Dumb. Doesn't know how to speak. Dumb fellow. Can't speak. But if he prostrates to these Pādukās, what will happen to him? Vachaspati, he will become. Pati, Lord of Vacha, speech. Lord of speech means he will become a great orator. Dumb becomes an orator. So similar verse is there, isn't it? Mūkam karoti vachalam pangum langhayate girim yad kripa tamaham vande paramananda madhavam. So similar verse. Mūkam karoti vachalam. The dumb becomes a vachala, great orator. Pangum langhayate girim. A lame person, he is able to cross over the greatest of mountains by the grace of that Lord. The same content is here also. So here the point is this, nothing wrong in asking for wealth also. There are very many people, no, you should not pray for wealth. You should pray only for viveka, vairāgya, bhakti. Hare Baba, you pray for what you want. Some saintly person, highly evolved person, he says, Bhagwan, even if you put me in Naraka, it's okay. I want only devotion at your lotus feet. That may be true for him. But for me, who is a beginner in spirituality, who doesn't have that much of viveka, vairāgya, etc., and who is valuing wealth and considering wealth as the solution to all problems of my life. So what should I pray for? Pray for wealth only, nothing wrong. Isn't it? This misunderstanding is there in me. No, you should not ask anything from God. Oh, then from whom else you should ask? From the neighbor? You will end up in calamity if you ask wealth from rich, influential person, etc. Never do that. Whatever you want to ask from God alone. Why? Pitahamasya jagato mata dhata pitamaha. I am the father and mother of this universe. So when the child needs something, where should the child go? To the father and mother, not to the neighbor. Isn't it? You will see always mother say, when I am here, why did you go there? Isn't it? When I am here, why did you go there? So it is our birthright to approach the Lord for whatever need we have. Wealth is also a need, ask God alone. So whatever is needed for us, Bhagavan will give. This we have to understand. There are some people who say, no, we should not ask anything from God because He knows everything what we need. I am not that evolved. If you are highly evolved, then you know that God knows, etc. But I am unevolved. I don't know whether God exists or not. Such is my situation. So in such a situation, definitely you must pray. You must consciously pray. And you must test God also. Nothing wrong in testing God. I have asked for wealth. Is this fellow giving or not? Or I am continuing to be Daridra Vairāgya only. Nothing wrong. You test him. You test him and he will pass the test in flying colors. Means what? You sincerely ask for something. From the depth of your heart, you desire something and ask, he will give you. What is the proof? The proof is lakhs and lakhs of people going to Tirupati, Guruvayur, etc. Why are they going there? Either to ask or to thank. Yes or no? Bhagavan, if this wish is fulfilled, I will go there and I will shave my head. Okay. So there are people. See? So the very fact that all temples are full, that itself shows that Bhagavan is passing the test. Yes or no? Yes. So therefore, if you have any desire, ask from God. Nothing wrong. But yes, only one condition. The condition is, suppose he doesn't give you, then don't lose faith in God. Because there are times when you are asking for something which it is not good for you, then sometimes he will not give you. Just like a mother. The child is having fever and the child is asking for ice cream. Will the mother give? She will not give. She will not give doesn't mean she doesn't love the child. In fact, out of love she is not giving. Isn't it? So this also we have to keep in mind. So our prayer should be like this. Bhagavan, this is what I want. With my little understanding, this is what I think will solve my problem. But if you think it is not good, don't give. Freedom is given to you. This is called as karmaphala-tyāga. And Bhagavan in 12th chapter considered karmaphala-tyāga is the highest. Why? Because tyaga shantiranantaram, Bhagavan says. A person who lives this way, his mind will always be at peace. This is called as, in another term, Ishvaraprasāda-buddhi. You ask from God, but allow God to decide for you. Right? So, Daridra-varyaha, if with this desire he approaches these Gurupādukās, what will these Gurupādukās do? They will bless you and make you the richest person on this planet, if need be. Okay. There is a beautiful stotram written by Bhagavan Adi Shankaracharya. It's called as Kanakadhārā stotram. Isn't it? I'm sure you must be knowing the story also. So Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji, when he was studying in the Gurukula, so the system in Gurukula is, you must go for bhiksha, house to house. And whatever you get, you come and give it to the teacher. Teacher then shares among all the students. And this is how it used to be. So why is this bhiksha, that sampradaya introduced? To make us humble. Not that they don't have money, not like that. Make us humble. Because Brahmanas are considered to be the greatest in the society, because they are the ones who are wise, intelligent, lot of purity of heart. So they are the best in the creation, we can say. A person who has a pure heart is the top, because he is very near to God. What is the qualification to know God? Purity of heart. And a person who has a pure heart is called a Brahmana. So higher you go in the society, you have a greater responsibility, and you should be an embodiment of humility. So, to make these Brahmanas humble, this sampradaya was introduced. What is it? You must go begging house to house. The highest man is supposed to beg, you see. So, Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji, at the age of 5, he was going house to house. Bhavati bhiksham dehi. Bhavati bhiksham dehi. You can imagine Shankaracharya ji, 5 years. First standard kid, you can imagine. Bhavati Shankara with a juttu and all that. Bhavati Bhiksham Dehi. Oh mother, please give me something. Bhiksha. So he was wondering. So the law is 3 times you ask in front of a house. If that lady doesn't turn up, then you walk away. Understanding that they don't want to give it or they don't have whatever. They just walk. So this boy, Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji, he goes to one house. A poor lady's house. Very, very poor. And it happened to be a Dwadashi. So what is the specialty of Dwadashi? Ekadashi is the Vrata day, fasting day. Dwadashi, you are supposed to break the fast. So Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji goes there and there is a poor lady there. Very poor. So when this Amma heard this small child, asking for Bhiksha, she immediately went to the kitchen, whatever, started searching. And she found there was neither rice nor dal, nothing to give. The previous day she was anyway fasting. She was searching. And finally she found one Nellika. What is that Nellika? Gooseberry, amla. And that also was not fresh or anything. I don't know, I call that dried one or whatever. But then she wanted to give something. She did not want to leave that child empty-handed. But there is nothing to give also. She was miserable. And she was hesitating to give that Nellika also. But anyway, something has to be given. That child should not be left, empty-handed. So she came, said, my dear son, this is all what I have. I don't know whether you will accept it or not. I know that it is not worth giving also. But I am really sorry, I have nothing to give. So that feeling, that Amma, and she was very miserable that I have nothing to give. What a wretched person I am, that here is somebody, a noble, Brahmana who has come and I have nothing to give. So she was very miserable. So when Bhagavan Shankaracharya saw this misery of this Amma, his heart melted in compassion. And then and there, Bhagavan Shankaracharya exploded in that stotram. What is that stotram? Kanakadhārā stotra. Do you chant Kanakadhārā? No. You chant in the temple? No. Kanakadhārā stotra. So it starts like this. Angam hare pulaka bhushanam ashrayanti bhranganganeva mukula bharanam tamalam angīkrita-khila vibhūtirapāṅgalīla Mangalyadastu mama mangala devataya. So this way starts. So it is a prayer to Mahalakshmi. O Mother, O Divine Mother, consort of Lord Vishnu, Mother, have compassion upon me. You are the one who has made all people rich. Whoever is rich in this world, it is only because of your grace. Even Indra is there in Swarga, it is only because of your grace. Oh Mother, shower compassion upon me and make me prosperous. So this is the way it goes, praising Mahalakshmi. And naturally, such a pure heart, that little child, Bhagavan Shankaracharya is praying, how can that mother remain unaffected, isn't it? Then and there started a torrential rain, dhara, of what? Kanaka, the gold gooseberry. This, what you call amla in gold, pure, what is the highest carat? 24? Is 25 carat possible? So 24 carat gold, amla started raining. It is said the place where this happened, it is in Ernakulam, where that Amma's hut was there. And now, recently 2018, they have made a Mahalakshmi temple there in remembrance of this incident. So what is said is absolutely true. Natayayo Sri Patitam Samiyuho. The story of Sudāmā we know, isn't it? He was also Daridra Vairāgya only. So poor he was. But because of the pressure of his wife, he said, you go, Sri Krishna, your friend is there, Dwarakadhish, go to him, he will give you something. Sudāmā did not want want money, but meeting his friend, remembering all those childhood days. And Sudāmā was a great devotee also. He wanted to meet Bhagavan. So all of you know the story. That little, what is that? Poha, Avilakki. Past rice he takes, and that too he got it by begging from somewhere. And when he reached that Dwaraka, he hesitated to give it. How can I give this to Bhagavan? So then Bhagavan also knew. He said, give. I am sure you must have brought something. Amma will not give, send you empty hand. I know she must have given something to you. So then Bhagavan snatches it from him and eats it. So actually what was Bhagavan eating? The bhakti of Sudāmā. Wherever bhakti is there, Bhagavan will eat anything. Which is the best story? Vidura's wife. What did she give? The skin of banana. And Bhagavan ate it as though it was very tasty, like a cow, Bhagavan ate that. So it is not the content, but with what bhakti you are offering. And then what happens to Sudāmā? He did not ask anything actually. He forgot to ask rather. The presence of Bhagavan, he forgot everything. But when he returned, he saw a huge palace and a goddess-like person waiting. Who was she? None other than his wife only. He thought that maybe I have come to the wrong place. So whatever is said here is 100% right. Daridra-vadyaha Shvipatitam Samiyuho. In the modern days also you can find so many people. Abdul Kalam, he was a newspaper boy. You see? And see what Bhagavan has made him. The president of this nation. Isn't it? Our Prime Minister also, Chaiwala, Narendra Modi, where Bhagavan took him. So many people are there like that. Rajinikanth, he was a coolie and a conductor and something like that. He became a superstar. So many examples. Rags to riches stories if you find. So many people are there. In the beginning they suffered like anything, but they were holding on to God. That faith was there. Bhagavan will protect. Natayayo Sri Patitam Sami. So ask for wealth. So Bhagavan will bless you wealth and also he will give you Vairāgya for wealth. That is also there. See, a poor person can never have Vairāgya for wealth. So the first stage necessary for having dispassion for wealth is you must become stinkingly wealthy. You should become so rich, then you understand the limitation of wealth. Then you become dispassionate towards wealth. A poor man, glorifying dispassion, it's called as alabhe vairagya. It is not. So Bhagavan will create a situation where you are really wealthy, and then Bhagavan will show you also, see, this will not do, it will not really give you fulfillment. Right, then Mūkāscha Vājaspatitam Hitabhyam. Mūka, dumb person, with Bhagavan's grace, what will he become? Vājaspati. So yesterday we had seen the story of, who was he? Sindhu Tayalla. One more. Our Totakacharya. Vājaspati. Right. Mūkāscha Vājaspatita. Buffalo also started chanting Veda mantra, isn't it? There is a very nice story of Kālidāsa. I don't know whether you know it or not. So in this context, that is an apt story I can think of. I am sure you must be knowing this story. So there was a great king called Bhima Shukla, and he had a daughter, very beautiful, highly scholarly, but at the same time very arrogant. Her name was Vidyuttama. And her condition was this: anyone who beats me in scholarship, there will be Shastra Charcha. Whoever beats me, such a person alone I will marry. This was her condition. Very arrogant also she was. The king wanted her to marry a great scholar. His name was Vararuchi. But then this daughter Vidyuttama said, he is nowhere compared to me. So when she made such a statement, Vararuchi was humiliated. He felt insulted. So he decided, I will teach this arrogant lady a lesson in her life. The ministers also there, they also did not like her because she was humiliating everyone. Very arrogant. So they also joined Vararuchi. We all should come together and teach this princess a lesson. So one day when Vararuchi was going, he saw one fellow. What was he doing? He was sitting on a branch and cutting the same branch. So Vairāgya, his plan was, I will make this princess marry the greatest fool in this world. This was the vow he had taken. So now here is a wonderful person, sitting on the branch and cutting the same branch. Who can be a greater fool than him? Called him, come, before you fall and die, I want you. I don't want to die, come quickly. So he came, he was a shepherd, and rather cowherd, a cowherd boy. He came. So he said, see, if you do what I say, total obedience, then I will make you marry the princess. Naturally, he was so happy. He said, you have to just do what I say. He said, done. Whatever you say, I will do. The first thing is, you should not open your mouth. He said, done. That's the first condition. And then they put all kinds of makeup, and he was made to look like a sage, a scholarly sage, with all kinds of vibhuti and this and that, with all kinds of rich clothes and all that, very grand. And all the great scholars surrounded him. And then he was taken to king. What is the name of the king? Forgot. Bhima Shukla. Okay. And said, all of them said, sir, he is a great sage, a scholarly sage from the Himalayas. He has just now come. We are lucky to have him. And so therefore, he would like to have a Shastrartha with your daughter. So looking at this person, and this cowherd boy was very handsome also. So there was no difficulty in doing makeup for him. So he was brought, and all the scholars were standing with all reverence. Means because such a great scholar in front of him, So that's how they enacted the whole thing. So many people around, and he was given a high pedestal to sit. So seeing all this, the princess also thought he's a great man. And then he said, see, the sage, at present he is on a Mauna Vrata. He won't speak. Mauna Vrata. But he will convey through sign language. Through hands that's all. So therefore Shastrartha will continue. He will only show some sign. He will not speak. So king said, oh my God, even greater, the respect again increases. Such a scholarly person, having such kind of austerity, not speaking, etc. Great. And she was also very much impressed. So Shastrartha starts. So first she says, what does she do? She shows one finger. Now it's all sign language now. Shows one finger. So this cowherd, who is this cowherd? Later on he is going to become Kālidāsa, okay? This cowherd boy. One finger is shown. This is a fool, he is a fool. So what did he understand? I will poke your one eye. This is what he understood. So he showed two fingers. I will poke both your eyes. If you make me blind in one eye, I will take away both your eyes. So she looked at the scholars. What is he saying? I showed this, he showed this. What is she? So the scholars looked at each other. Wow, what an answer, what an answer. So she said, what is he trying to convey? So one scholar said, see, you said one, isn't it? So what you meant was, the whole world is created by, supported by one Brahman. Brahman is the support of the whole world. Our scholar, this sage, wants to convey, no, Brahman alone cannot create the world. Maya is also necessary. So Brahman plus Maya. This lady, princess, was highly, she was impressed. Wow, that's true. Brahman alone cannot create. It's with Maya. Brahman plus Maya is the cause of creation. Okay. Second question. She did like this. And what did this fool understand? I will slap you. So then Kālidāsa, this Kaula, he looked at her and said, you slapped me. See, there may be so many exaggeration in the story, etc. We will have to just take it in a lighter sense. Okay? Because we really don't know whether this happened or not. That is also there. Okay? Some person would have added some masala, etc. So, she showed it like this. The scholars looked at each other. What an answer, what an answer. Again, she was confused. What did he say? Oh, princess, you said, the whole world is perceived by 5 sense organs. This is what you meant. But our sage wants to convey, no. Sense organs, with that you can't perceive. Mind is necessary, and it is a mind which is controlling all the sense organs. That one mind. So the fist means actually mind. With one mind alone you can. Without mind, only with sense organs you can't perceive. Princess was very much impressed. And she accepts defeat, and finally they were married. Right? Very soon she came to know that this is a idiot number 1. It is said some camel, was making some sound outside. This fellow was not even able to utter the word, in Sanskrit camel is called Ushtra. He was not even able to pronounce it. And she understood. She has been fooled thoroughly. How long can you hide the truth? She showered, she felt so humiliated because life is gone. Getting married to a rank fool. She was so unhappy. Showered abuses on him, felt so much humiliated and kicked him out. And these abusers, humiliation, etc., it just went straight into his heart. He felt miserable. And then he takes a decision, I will become a great scholar. How? I don't know. But this is going to my life's mission. That humiliation, it transformed him. He takes a walk, I will become a scholar. And then he was walking, no food, no water, thirsty, etc. And there he sees a lady washing clothes. And there he finds that the stone was very smooth. And he gets a clue. What is that? Hard work is the way. Look, again and again when she was pounding that cloth upon, even the stone became smooth with that, that cloth. So that means if I can work hard on this stony head, this head can really become, knowledgeable. So he then decides to work hard, but he wanted a guru. So the searching, then he finds a yogi under some banyan tree. And the yogi gives him Kali mantra. You chant the name of this Kali. Day and night you must chant. And finally Kali will bless you and you will become a scholar. This is what the yogi said. And he did it. He did it day and night. He was chanting that name, and slowly, the chanting became so powerful. His mind also became so concentrated. And Mother Kali appeared. He asked, what do you want? He said, this is what I want. Blessed him. And from then onwards he was known as Kālidāsa. Now I am not going further story. The point is this. Mūkāscha vācaspatitāṁ. There are so many such people, not one or two. There is a great scholar called Shrīharsha. Shrīharsha. So his father lost in a, Shastrartha with another great scholar called Udayanacharya. So father came back very much humiliated and he told his son, you must take that revenge. I have lost. So therefore now you must take. In some story it is said that the father committed suicide also. But then to take the revenge, this Shrīharsha at a very young age, he started chanting one Chintamani mantra. I don't know that there is some goddess, particular mantra was chanted, and he started chanting. Devi appeared. So he asked for blessing, he was blessed, and with that intelligence he writes a book. The name of the book is Khandana Khanda Khadya. Have you heard of this book? It is there, free download, it is there in in the internet. Those who are interested can read the book. But let me tell you, he wrote that book. He was a Vedantin. The content of the book is, you cannot, using logic, you cannot prove the non-duality. Brahman is only one. With logic you cannot prove. So what he does is, he takes up all the logics given by the Nayayikas and he refutes it. This is the content. Some 610 pages are there. It is said that when he wrote this book and Shastra, the scholars could not understand anything. It was so high, highly intellectual. They said, we are not able to make the head and tail of it. So then it is said Shrīharsha went back to mother goddess and said, Amma, nobody is understanding. So it is said, Divine Mother said, do one thing, drink buttermilk, take wet cloth and in the night you put it on your head, drinking buttermilk. Then kapha will increase and this kapha will make your intellect dull. Then you write another book, then they will understand. You understand? Your intelligence is so much that nobody is able to follow. It's like, aeroplane is going, you are not seeing. It is so high. Auto rickshaw, cycle, everything you are seeing. Aeroplane you don't see. Why? Not because it is not there. It is there. In the same way, his intelligence was so much. So therefore, then he did that. He made his intellect dull so that he can argue with these scholars. And of course, he defeated that scholar. That's a different matter. But there is a book. So those who are interested, you are most welcome. You can download it and read it. It is free download available. Khandana Khanda Khadya. It's in Sanskrit. Okay, the point is this. When Bhagavan blesses us, there is nothing will be lacking. Mūkāscha vācaspatitāṁ hitābhyāṁ. Namo Namah Shri Gurupādukābhyāṁ. Next one, verse number 4. Nālīkanīkāsha padāhrtābhyāṁ. Nānā vimōhādi nivārikābhyāṁ. Namajjanābhīṣṭatatiprādābhyāṁ. Namo Namah Shri Gurupādukābhyāṁ.
Namo Namah Shri Gurupādukābhyāṁ.
Namo Namah Shri Gurupādukābhyāṁ.
Namo Namah Shri Gurupādukābhyāṁ.
Nālīkanīkāsha padāhrtābhyāṁ.
Nānā vimōhādi nivārikābhyāṁ.
Nikasha Pada Ahritabhyam. So these Padukas, Ahritabhyam, they bring, what do they bring? Pada, the feet. Nikasha, which is like Nalika. Nalika means lotus. So these Padukas, they serve, they bring, they carry the lotus like feet of the Guru. Nalika Nikasha Pada Ahritabhyam Nana Vimohadi Nivarikabhyam. So what do these Padukas do? Nivarikabhyam, Nivaranam. Nivaranam means what? Dispelling what? Moha Adi. Moha, etc. Vimoha, etc. Vimoha Adi. Vimoha means delusion. Adi, etc. So delusion and delusion related suffering. Nana of varieties of delusions are there in this world. These Padukas, they dispel all kinds of delusions and delusion related sufferings. Namajjana Abhishta Tati Pradabhyam. Pradabhyam, it bestows, it gives. What does it give? Abhishta Tati. Tati means Santati, Parampara, series. Abhishta means that which we desire. The series of things which we desire. Now what are the series of things which we desire? Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Tatihi means series, Santati. So Abhishta Tati. So to whom these Padukas blessed? Namajjana. Namajjana means those people who have prostrated to these Padukas, they are blessed with all what they desire. So what are the things we desire? Dharma, Artha, Kama and Moksha. The Purushārthas are blessed by these Padukas. Namo Namah Shri Gurupādukābhyam. So the first one, Nalika Nikasha Padāhridābhyam. So the feet of the teacher is compared with lotus. So in the Hindu scriptures, everywhere you will find one flower, not jasmine or rose. It's always lotus. Lotus eyes, lotus heart, lotus feet. And all these gods and goddesses, they either stand on lotus or sit on lotus. Isn't it? So what is so special about this lotus? If you see, this lotus is an amazing flower. It represents perfection. How can you say that? This lotus is growing in a dirty water. Okay? What does it bring out? It grows in a stinking water, but it brings out fragrance. Now see, it grows in a dirty water, but brings out beauty. It grows in a tasteless water, but brings out nectarian honey. All the bees are hovering around means what? Honey is there. You see? And the beauty of lotus is, it never runs away from the situation. Remaining wherever it is, even amidst all the unconducive environment, everywhere dirt, filth, etc., dirty water, from there it brings out its perfection. Beautiful flower, fragrant flower, bring out nectar, honey. Now this is called perfection. And this is how human beings should be. And another greatness of this lotus is, it is ever open to the light, sunlight. It is ever closed to darkness. They are all symbolic. So, lotus is an embodiment of perfection. Remaining amidst all bitter realities of life, it is bringing out the fragrance of perfection. That is the glory of lotus. Ever tuned to light, ever close to darkness. So any person who lives such a life, so this is the way we are supposed to live. World will give you lot of bitter experiences. So what should we become? Not bitter, but better, isn't it? Like lotus. Guru is standing. His feet is called lotus feet. Why is it called lotus feet? What is the role of feet? Feet supports us, isn't it? With hands we work. With head we think. With feet we stand. It supports the entire body. Now the question is, what is the support of your life? Ask this question. What do I consider the ultimate support for my life? Some people consider wealth as the support. Some people consider power as the support, influence, etc. That is their support of life. Whereas a teacher, a guru, what is his support? His support is the Supreme Self. His support is the reality. His support is God. And remember, this is the ultimate support, the only real support. All the other supports are illusory supports. It's a part of the illusory world. But the support of Supreme Self is the ultimate support. So since Guru is standing on this perfect support, and any perfection equal to lotus, so therefore we call Guru's feet as lotus feet. Lotus means perfection. Lotus heart means what? A heart filled with compassion, forgiveness, all those noble virtues. That's called as lotus heart. Lotus eyes means what? Of course, Bhagwan's eyes are beautiful, that is there. But that is not the real meaning. Lotus eyes means eyes which are trained to see the truth. Everyone is none other than the manifestation of the Lord. So the one who sees Lord alone in everyone, he is having lotus eyes. The one who sees the illusory world and sees only the pure consciousness, he is having a lotus eye, we see. So they are all symbolic. So this is the way our life should be, like a lotus. Sufferings will come, miseries will come, failures will come, but every time bring out the perfection of the self. Remain smiling, remain happy, because Ananda is your Swarupa, you are not Dukkha Swarupa. So even when you are surrounded by environment filled with Dukkha, you should radiate Ananda. Then that is lotus-like living. In this regard, the best story I can think of is the story of Jayadev. Recently I had written that Chintana, I don't know how many of you read it. Jayadev. He was the one who is the author of Gita Govindam. You must have heard. Ashtabadi. He is the author, Jayadev. He was born in Bengal, in a village called Kendubilva. At a very young age itself, his parents passed away. So this little boy, he was going house to house, singing and chanting the name of the Lord, and whatever they used to give, with that he used to live. One day, so his parents had passed away, he was alone. A person, a Brahmana, his name was Narendra. He came to him and said, he was a crook. So he thought that this fellow is a simpleton, this boy. All the time singing Bhagwan's name, very humble. Very many times people misunderstand humble people as a useless fellow. Good for nothing fellow. So this Brahmana also, Niranjan, he came to him and said, see, your father had taken a lot of money from me and he has not returned, he died. So therefore either give me the money or your house and land, whatever is it, you write in my name. I have brought the documents, you have to just sign it and you can take it. This boy, his heart was so pure, he did not even doubt it. You see, the sign of purity of heart is you don't doubt anyone. He said, is it so? Okay, give the documents. Just imagine, his house, everything, it is written there. He just signed all the papers. He has so much of trust in God that everybody is a manifestation of God only. So whoever does whatever, he just accepts. Total surrender to God. to his will. So he just signed all the papers and Niranjan was happy. Now his house, land, everything belongs to him. Within 2 minutes, Niranjan's daughter comes running. She says, Papa, our house is on fire. Niranjan was stunned. He was like shocked. Jayadev, now see the purity of heart of Jayadev. Here is a man who has taken everything from him. When he heard this, he was the one who ran to save that house from burning. Now can you see the purity of that heart? Somebody is taking everything from you and still you are thinking good of him. He ran. Niranjan was like, thunderstruck. After that, Niranjan also ran behind him. Jayadev ran as though his own house was burning. And the house was raging fire and he just entered into that burning house. And wonder of wonders, the moment Jayadev entered that house, the fire just subsided automatically. And this Niranjan who was coming from behind, he was, another wonder struck him. How did this happen? The whole house was in flames. The moment Jayadev entered into that house, the flame is gone. He understood this boy is divine. Immediately he took that documents, he tore it away, fell at the feet of Jayadev and said, I'm really sorry I was trying to cheat you. Please forgive me. It was a big transformation for Niranjan. He became a devotee of God. Rest of his life he was chanting Bhagavan's name and living. This became a great transformation for Jayadev also. He was also wondering, how did this happen? I just entered the house and fire is gone. And then his heart was filled with love for Bhagavan. How much Bhagavan is taking care of his devotees. He said, now I am going to dedicate my life only in thinking about the Lord. So therefore, he left everything and then he went to Jagannath Puri. He said, now I will live a life of a sannyasi, only on bhiksha and constantly chanting Bhagavan's name, remembering him. That Lord who has taken care of me so well, there is nothing else I need to do in life. This way he was living. So he went to Puri and lived a life of a sannyasi begging for. Now another thing happened. When he was there was another Brahmana there. He got a dream. And in the dream, Bhagavan appeared and said, your daughter, marry her to Jayadev. He said he thought maybe it is some hallucination. Again the same dream came. So it was confirmed that Bhagavan wants my daughter to get married to him. So he went to Puri, searched him, he found him and said, see, this is God's instruction that you should marry my daughter. Jayadev said, no, I am a sannyasi, how can I marry and all that? He said, nothing doing, God's will, we have to just obey. Now see the greatness of Jayadev. He said, if that is God's will, I accept. So he came back, gave up all the sannyasa, etc. You see, a life dedicated to God. My God, this kind of surrender is unbelievable. He got married, came back to his home, came to Bilva, started staying there. One day, he decided for a Tirtha Yatra. So he went all over. While coming back, he met a king there. King was so happy seeing his devotion, his knowledge. So the king gave him lot of gifts, jewelries, etc., gold, etc. Jayadev said, no, I don't want any of this. It will only pollute the mind, this, that. We Brahmanas, we are not supposed to have all this. We should live in poverty. King said, no, at least for my satisfaction, you must accept this. Please accept this, accept. Okay, just to please the king, he took that wealth. And he was walking along a forest. 4 robbers, they catch hold of him, chops off both the hands and legs, puts him in the nearby well. They take away all the money and go. By God's grace, there was no water in the well. It was a dry well. No hands, no legs. He fell there. You know what his thinking was? What a great mistake I have done. I shouldn't have taken that money. I became greedy for money. And see, in the process, I polluted the mind of those robbers. So it is not their fault. I was the one who polluted their mind. Bhagavan, you have given me the right punishment. See the kind of, now this is called lotus. You understand? The most unconducive environment around you, and you are not blaming the Lord. You are not blaming the near and dear ones or whoever has caused you this pain. You are only blaming yourself. You are taking the blame upon yourself. You are saying, Bhagavan, what you have done is right. I shouldn't have taken the money. It is my mistake. I polluted the mind of those robbers. So I deserve it. And he sat there in that well. He started chanting Bhagavan's name. He started doing kirtan. Hand is not there, legs are not there. He started doing kirtan. You understand what is this lotus? This is lotus. Lotus-like life. Unimaginable. What kind of purity that heart must be having. Not even a negative thought. Anyway, he was chanting Bhagavan's name. At that time, one king, another some king, was passing by along with his devotees. He heard this chanting of Bhagavan's name coming from the forest. Lonely forest. He told his servants, go and find out, there is somebody here. And they found this well. Here that person was there without hand, without legs, bleeding, chanting. Immediately somebody got down and pulled him out. He was presented in front of king. King also understood that this must be a great man, chanting Bhagavan's name at this stage, indeed great. He was taken to the kingdom. All treatment was given. And he asked, who did this? I punished him. Jayadev never uttered a word about it. You see, heart was filled with forgiveness. Anyway, that king also understood that this person is a highly knowledgeable person, full of devotion. So he was made the Raja Guru of the kingdom. A person whom king can consult for guidance. That's called a Raja Guru. His wife, by the way, his wife's name is Padmavati. Whose wife? Jayadev's wife, Padmavati. So Padmavati also came. So they were living in this kingdom. The king wanted to shower them with all kinds of luxuries, but they never took anything. They lived in the minimum. One day, the king decided to give a big grand feast for everyone, for all the beggars and saints and poor people and everyone. So a lot of people were coming. These poor robbers also came. They did not know. So they came there, and what did they see? The very same fellow is there, seated on that majestic seat, no hands, no legs. They immediately understood, this is the fellow. They thought, arey, he should have been died by now. How is he here? So they wanted to escape. Jayadev's eyes fell on them. He said, come. They started trembling in fear. Now we are finished. This fellow will tell everything and the king will chop off our head. But instead, you know what Jayadev did? He called all the four, told the king, see, they are my near and dear ones. I love and respect them a lot. So treat them like royal guests. Feed them sumptuously and give them whatever you want to give me, give them. The king was very happy. And he treated them royally because, Guru himself has said, this is my near and dear ones. So the king started treating these robbers, they did not know what is going on. They could not believe their eyes. Anyway, after feast, they thought, we'll run away from here. So then king got loads of gems and jewels and gold and whatnot. He said, it is special instruction of our Guru that you must be given, a lot of wealth. These robbers could not believe. So all of them immediately, and the king, he sent 4 servants along with one officer, along with them, while going back, because it's very dangerous. Some other robbers may loot them. So for protection, 4 servants were sent, one officer was also sent. So in the forest they were walking. So naturally this officer was, he had this curiosity. How did these people become so close to Guru? This saintly person, how did they become? They must have done some great punya or something. So much of love and respect this Guru has towards these 4 people. So therefore, out of curiosity on the way, this officer asked these people, how did you come to know him? How did you become so close? He has so much of love and respect for you. What is the reason? So these robbers told a lie. They said, earlier, he was working as our servant under a king. That king became displeased with him. So the king asked us to chop his head, taking him to some forest. So we took him to the forest and then he pleaded, please save me, please save me. Then we left him. So now he is very grateful to us. So he is showing that gratitude now. The moment these robbers uttered this lie, it is said the earth cracked and all the 4 were just buried inside. In front of this officer. This officer was stunned. They were just buried. He was stunned. He took all the cartloads of gems and jewels back, went to the king and described, this is what has happened. The king was utterly confused. He said, now I must know what really has happened. So he called Jayadev. Please tell us what actually happened. Please tell the truth. So then Jayadev had no other option. He told, see, this is what happened. Again Jayadev said, I am the cause for that. You see. I only invited them and gave all that wealth to them because I thought that maybe when they become so rich, they will give up this robbery business, etc. And they will be, they will become good people because now they have a lot of wealth. So I only did everything. I alone am responsible for all this. See that heart. He was cursing himself. It is said, at that time, his hands started growing. The cut hands, remember his condition now, no hands, no legs. The hands started growing, the legs started growing, and he came back to the normal state. Others were stunned. So here what we have to keep in mind is this. When you don't protect yourself and you throw yourself totally at the mercy of the Lord, it is the Lord who will have to protect you. This is the lesson. How much ever the environment may be unconducive, don't walk the path of unrighteousness. Don't try to protect yourself. When you don't protect yourself, it is Bhagavan who will protect you. And when Bhagavan protects you, it will be the ultimate protection. Any impossible thing can be possible. This is the lesson to be noted. The hands growing, etc. is impossible. But what is it that Bhagavan cannot do? So all of them saw this wonder. They prostrated unto him. They understood that he is a divine personality. Years passed by. So Padmavati was also a great lady. So one day, she used to take these spiritual classes for queens and all those people there, the ladies there. So one day she said, real Pativrata Stri, chaste woman is that the moment she knows that her husband is dead, she should die. The moment she hears that your husband is dead, if she can just fall dead, she is number one chaste woman. Those people who go to sati, sit on the funeral pyre, they are all inferior types, she told. When she said this, the queen thought, this is too much. This is too much, and she is bluffing. Let us test it upon her only. Can she do this? So one day, the king had gone along with Jayadev somewhere outside. So this queen, to test her, she came with tears and with a blood-stained cloth. She came and said, Padmavati, Amma, your husband is no more. He was attacked by a lion and he is dead. The moment she heard this, she just uttered Krishna and just fell down dead. Queen was stunned. Now what to do? She is dead. She became miserable. How will she tell others? But somehow this news got her. She was very, very miserable. Very, very miserable. The news reached Jayadev. King was also very miserable. So looking at their misery, Jayadev thought, no, things should be solved. So he came back. He came to that place, consoled them, don't worry. If she had died thinking that I am dead, she will come back alive when she knows that I am alive. So he said, now let us start chanting Bhagavan's name. Let us do bhajan. And he sincerely prayed, Bhagavan, bring her alive. Because he did not want to see the suffering of this king and the queen. It's not that he was attached to Padmavati, therefore he wanted her alive. No, this suffering was lifelong, they will suffer. So therefore, Jayadev prayed to the Lord, saying, Bhagavan, please bring her alive. And bhajan started. She woke up as though from some deep sleep or something. She came back alive. So why I told this story is only for this. To describe the lotus-like living. What is lotus-like living? Even when you are amidst temptation, sufferings, failure, miseries, bring out that perfection of the self. So many stories can be told in this regard. So many stories. People who have never compromised with their life, even in the most trying situations. Like Arjan Dev, etc. So many. Haridas, Arjan Dev. Alika Nikasha Parahradabhyam Nana Vimohadi Nivarikabhyam. So these Pādukās, they remove, dispel all kinds of mohas. What is moha? Delusion. What is delusion? Right is understood as wrong, wrong is understood as right. This is called as moha. Vimoha means which is very intense. For example, I am the body. This is a moha. You are consciousness, but this understanding is so deeply rooted in us that even in our dream, if you are a man, you will see yourself as a man in your dream. You see the deep-rooted delusion. You will never see yourself as a buffalo, etc. No way. You will see yourself a human being, a man. You see. So that means that notion that I am this man, I am this woman, it is so deep-rooted that even in dream it percolates. So such notions are called vimoha. Delusion. World is the source of happiness. Now this is another notion. World is real. This is another vimoha. There is no God. Another vimoha. So many types are there. Nana vimoha. Wealth can solve all problems of life. Is another vimoha. So what happens when that bhakti arises in the heart? All this vimoha also goes away. It is true. So whenever you have to take a decision in life, fill your heart with devotion, and then the mind is able to think correctly, then whatever that mind in that devotional mood, whatever the mind suggests you, do only that. Then you will never regret in life. Because then moha will not be there. But if the mind is in tamasic or rajasic mood, if you take a decision, later on you will repent. So serious decisions in life should be taken by invoking the grace of God, filling the heart with devotion. When this is done, the mind is in tune with the Lord. Lord's guidance easily reaches you, and you will never commit mistakes in life. Nana vimoha nivarikabhyam. So in Bhagavad Gita, the examples are given. How that delusion covers your intellect, desires. Like the smoke covering the fire, like the dust covering the mirror, like the womb covering the child. These are all the examples given. In a sattvic mind, it is like fire and smoke. Very easily you can remove that delusion. But in a tamasic mind, it is impossible, like that womb and the fetus. So this bhakti is something which removes all moha. Namajjana bhishta tati pradabhyam. For those who go down, dharma, artha, kama, moksha. you get everything in life. Nowadays youngsters are confused. Which profession should I take? It's such a big confusion. In earlier times, no confusion was there. Whatever father does, the same thing the son also does. In Vedic time, no confusion at all. Father is a potter, son is also a potter. Father farmer, son is also a farmer. Now, my God, so many fields, engineering, medicine, commerce, and so many other things also. And even each one there are so many branches now. Youngsters are confused what to do. So there's a dharma confusion. If you are in tune with the Lord, you will never have this confusion. You see, monkeys don't have confusion, fish don't have confusion, cows don't have confusion. Why? They are in tune with the Lord. Why? There is no ego. If there is no ego, you are in tune with the Lord. You know what you are supposed to do. It's very clear. Monkey knows, my job is to jump from one tree to another. Tree is my home. Finished. Fish knows, this is my home. No confusion. Only human beings are confused. He doesn't know what to do with life. To the extent you can tune to the Lord, to that extent intuitively you know what is the purpose of your life. So all of us, we are confused. Youngsters are confused because they are away from the Lord. So under peer pressure, under the pressure of the parents, they decide to do something and finally say, oh, I think this is not my path. Then they go, oh, this. By the time life is over. Understand? So dharma, artha, kama, moksha, every stage you get perfect guidance if you are in tune with the Lord. This topic we will take up tomorrow. Right? Jaya Jaya Rama Janaki Rama
Jaya Jaya Rama Janaki Rama
Raghukula Bhushana Raja Rama
Raghukula Bhushana Raja Rama
Jaya Jaya Rama Janaki Rama
Jaya Jaya Rama Janaki Rama
Tapasaranjana Taraka Nama Danava Bhanjana Kodanda Rama
Danava Bhanjana Kodanda Rama
Jaya Jaya Rama Janaki Rama
Jaya Jaya Rama Janaki Rama
Shri Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama
Sri Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama
Shri Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama
Sri Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama
Shri Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama
Sri Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama
Janaki Rama
Janaki Rama
ಭವಂತು ಸುಖಿನಃ ಸರ್ವೇ ಸಂತು ನಿರಾಮಯಾಃ ಸರ್ವೇ ಭದ್ರಾಣಿ ಪಶ್ಯಂತು ಮಾ ಕಶ್ಚಿತ್ ದುಃಖಭಾಗ್ ಭವೇತ್. ಅಸತೋ ಮಾ